Now let's look at another example of array handling. So the question is, given a two-dimensional array, write the array to return the average of each row. The result must be returned as a one-dimensional array. The array must be ragged, may be ragged. For example, this is my two-dimensional array. The first one has 3 columns, the second one 4 columns, third one has 4 columns. So you need to return an integer array of the average of all elements in that row. And we have this array available. So now let's create a new class, test3, average of 2D array. So now that we go through this average of 2D array, I believe there are questions we done before where we actually go through, goes through the two-dimensional array and perform certain tasks like calculating the total. And once you have the total and you can get the total elements, you can actually divide and conquer, right? But of course, here I think it's easier just to copy this get total, and at the end, running total divided by array that particular row's length. Thus, you can get the array. Oops, I think this is an int, so I think we need to find the int array. Yeah, the get row total. Yeah, sorry, this is the one that we're looking for. So now let's go to average and create Java docs first. I only need to copy this part and give it proper indentation. Now let's create public static void main string, not string args. That's good. Now I think still it's easier to copy this over. And here we need to change two things. The first thing is we need to set this up. And the second, we need to print this out. Print the return value out. So let's create a for loop first. 0 I less than my array average dot length I plus plus, and we will do a system dot out dot print line. I. Okay, now that we have this average printout set up, we need to implement this average calculation for a two-dimensional array. So I'm going to copy this over. And change the name to ARR because this is what we are referring to. We have the running total calculated. This block, now remember, what we are doing here is for the row running total, right? So for each running total, for each row, we are initializing the running total as 0. Then we do a running total by going through each and every element inside that array, inside that row, which is also an array. So in the end, we have the running total. And in order to calculate the average, we will divide the running total by the length of the row. So this is no longer running total. Once you perform this step, this is actually running average. But in the end, the result will be the same. So I think there's an issue of one extra parenthesis. Now let's run 454, which is what we expected, right? So the key here is one, you can, the key here, there are 3 points. First of all, how do you calculate the running average, the average of an array? You do that by starting the running total, starting running total at 0, add all elements up to get the running total, and divide it by length to get the average. The second thing is, how do you handle a 2-dimensional array? You break it up by using a for loop, going through all the rows, row by row, and handle each row as a array itself. So here you are doing the running total and the running average. Here you are doing the running total, and later on you do get a column total, or get the highest in the row or lowest in the row. It's all of them are same logic, going through row by row. For each row, you do array operation. And the third, once you finish, you return an integer array. You return the array. All right. So this is how it works for 2-dimensional array operation. You just break it down into 1-dimensional array processing one at a time, one row at a time.